Welcome back to Muscular Dystrophy Warrior. Just like the last video, in every video, a moment of silence for all the fallen warriors who sadly lost the battle to muscular dystrophy. Sending prayers to all those families who have lost someone with muscular dystrophy. Well, you guys, for this video, I thought I'll discuss the myths and facts about muscular dystrophy. Because people don't really know a lot about disability, about muscular dystrophy. They assume stuff, I call them myths and facts. That's why I call this video. So I'm gonna give a myth, then I'm gonna explain the fact, you guys. Because I think everybody in the disability community, the DMD community, any disability, there's always assumption. People assume stuff, which is not true, how our disability is, works, I'm gonna give you guys 10 myths. Obviously, I'll give you guys the facts, and yeah, I'll give you guys 10. And you guys can comment down below what myth or something you guys have received from people. I'll start with the first one. First one, myth. Muscular dystrophy means the same for everyone, meaning that muscular dystrophy affects every disability the same. Fact, there are different types of muscular dystrophy and everyone's experience can look different. I have learned that over the years, guys. Even if you have the same disability, you go through things differently than other peers that have muscular dystrophy or a disability. It's not one dimension. There's so many disabilities out there. Everybody has their own struggles. Everybody deals with things differently, and stuff. Myth 2. If someone uses a wheelchair, they can't do anything independently, which that's wrong, guys. Fact, a wheelchair is a tool for independence. Like I like calling it freedom, dependence, It helps people move, live, create, work, and be part of life, Wheelchair doesn't mean we can't do anything. I mean, we might need assistance, but the wheelchair is like freedom. Myth 3. People with muscular dystrophy are always sad or miserable. People think that people that live with this, they're always sad, miserable, angry at the world. Which fact, we have hard days. Everybody have hard days, difficult days. We all have hard days with or without disability. But we also laugh, joke, dream, create, and enjoy life like everyone else, which is true, Having a disability doesn't mean, oh, we're miserable, we're sad, we're upset at the world. I mean, yeah, there's hard days, stressful days, like everybody else, Myth 4. Muscular dystrophy only affects the body. It affects more than muscles. It can affect confidence, mental health, independence, friendship, dating, caregiving in the future. I'll make a video talking about why I created Muscular Dystrophy Warrior, and it's for these reasons, guys. I mean, if you think about it, you Google muscular dystrophy or a different disability, it always focuses on, you know, on how it affects your health. Muscular dystrophy affects your muscles, your body. Yes, that's the medical side of it, but we always forget the social side of it, like your confidence, your mental health, independence, friendships, dating, caregiving, the future, or other social aspects. Yes, I mean, I'm not saying it does affect our health, whoever has muscular dystrophy or any disability, it affects, muscular dystrophy affects your muscles and stuff, but we forget about the mental health side, you know, our thoughts, what we go through, how society sees people with disability. We forget that at times. because like I said, if I Google that, it won't come up. It'll just come up the medical side, and I wanted to talk focus less on the medical side, but focus on the social aspects. You know, what we go through every day. Because it's not easy, guys. Those that live with a disability like muscular dystrophy, or like I always like to say, any disability, you know, we tend to forget, we deal with other stuff. That's why mental health, friendship, dating, caregiving. Man, people with muscular dystrophy don't want relationships or dating. I think this myth is in general. Everybody has probably heard this myth that people with disability don't want anything like that. They don't have feelings. They don't want affection, all that, all those words, we can use. Disability doesn't erase attraction, love, dating, or the desire to be seen as someone's partner. Obviously, I feel like people feel like we're not humans at times, that we don't have feelings. Like I said, attraction, love, desire, all those things. Myth six: talking around disabled people is okay because they may not understand. Disabled people should be spoken directly. Don't talk over us, around us, or only to the person helping us. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. There's disabilities where, sadly, it's they're mentally challenged individuals. That maybe they're nonverbal, have autism, or some sort of disability that they can't, really understand, what's going on. But it's like not every disability affects the person's thinking, or even if it affects their thinking, there's a way to communicate with them, you know, and stuff. Myth 7: muscular dystrophy is caused by laziness or not exercising. And I don't know about this one, guys. So I use ChatGPT to create some of my, you know, so I tried finding an article I couldn't find, so I'm skipping that one, guys. I don't think. Myth 8: if someone looks okay, they must not be struggling. Some struggles are invisible. Fatigue, pain, breathing issue, weakness, and emotional weight are not always obvious. I mean, yeah, the person might look okay, but you don't know what they're feeling inside. They might be angry at the world because they have this disability. They might feel pain when they might have breathing issues, feel weak that day. There's a lot going on in their life, besides their disability. You might see the person with the disability smiling, like, oh, he might be okay. He's not struggling with anything, only his disability. But like I said, sometimes those disabilities cause pain, you know, or you're feeling weak, that day because of your disability. Myth that asking questions is always offensive. Respectful question better than assumption. The problem is when people are rude, invasive, or treat us like a lesson instead of a person. Lesson, I feel like more they treat us as an inspiration, and stuff. I feel like for me, I prefer people to ask me about my disability, not assume stuff. I know I talked about it in other videos. The last minute, disability means your life has no purpose. Disability changes life, but it doesn't take away purpose. We can still have goals, impact people, tell our story, and build something meaningful. So for the younger generation of people with muscular dystrophy, you do have a purpose. You know, don't your disability doesn't change that. You guys can still have goals. Want to be a content creator, share your story. Bring awareness, to the outside world that doesn't really, at times, doesn't really understand what it is living with a disability, and stuff. So having a disability doesn't mean you guys don't have no purpose. You guys have a purpose, but like I always say, you have to find that purpose, you know. So that's it for this video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time, and like always, guys, MD Warrior out. Till next time.